Welcome to A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose, a worldwide web event. Hi, everybody. Welcome to class number 8 of our New Earth web series with author Eckhart Tolle. 8 means we only have 2 more to go. I'd like to, again, thank all of the students from around the world who are watching, who are willing to awaken to the deeper meaning of your lives.
It's only when you leave the now, then it'll come back. Either you go into the past, and you remember something that happened in the past, you've left the now, or you go into the future and say, am I going to have fear again at some point? So the more you stay in the now, the more you're keeping out fear. Fear comes through past or future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Yvonne. Okay.
Yes.
Hi. What's your question? I like this question.
It's about this too shall pass and the quote about it. Forget the quote now. Shoot. How do you be a voice for change in the planet where things are going wrong and still be present in the stillness and create the action without being taken down by all the horrendous things that are happening? It seems to me like a paradox to be present and then to work for change in the future.
Yeah, you said, how can I be a voice for planetary change and really say I don't mind what happens because there's so much...
I don't mind what happens. That's the quote.
So much crazy stuff is going on in the world. How can you just say...
Do not mind animal abuse.
Right.
All that.
Not mind animal abuse, not mind all the violence going on in the world, and just say, this too shall pass.
First, of course, the English language has 2 expressions that are related and yet very different. Sometimes I don't mind is interpreted by people as meaning I don't care. So I don't care and I don't mind are very different. I don't mind does not mean that you don't care. It means there is a space of freedom inside you, and that is a peaceful place. And unless you are rooted in that peaceful place within, you cannot ultimately be an agent for true positive change in this world. Your state of consciousness is what transmits itself through whatever you do. Your state of consciousness is primary. And only if your state of consciousness is at peace can whatever you do reflect that. And you can be a bringer of peace into this violent and insane world. And you can then, through whatever you do externally, can bring sanity into this logic, insane world.
Whether it's about that particular thing you're concerned about or not, because if you are in a state of consciousness where you are at peace, everything that you do in the world will bring peace to the world.
Yes.
And that's how you change the world.
Yes. And everything you do will be much more empowered. It will be empowered by that consciousness, rather than coming from antagonism, coming from thinking I have to fight these people, making situations or people into enemies. That's all the old consciousness. You cannot change this world through the old consciousness or applying the structures and the ways of the old consciousness.
Yeah, one of the things you shared with us earlier, what he was saying, Yvonne, in one of the early classes, is that you cannot make change by fighting against anything. And a surefire way of knowing that something is going to fail is when you say it's the war against.
Yes.
The war against anything cannot win.
No. So if you cannot fight, it does not mean that you cannot take action. You can take powerful action, but it comes out of that basic place of inner peace. People don't realize, many people don't realize yet that very powerful action come out of the place of inner peace. They believe they need to be agitated to bring about change.
Somebody who's coming from inner peace motivate other people to sort of mind what's going on so that they might do things differently in their lives that impact the planet as a whole. That's the thing that kind of worries me, that the concept can give people apathy and like, oh, I'm going to throw my cigarette on the ground and it's going to go into the ocean and I don't mind what happens.
No, that's not it. You see the consequences of any action. If you're present, then you will not do unconscious things that will actually produce suffering. It's only when you're not present that you will produce suffering in one form or another.
Got that.
When you're present, you do not generate suffering for yourself or others. It's the only place from where you don't generate suffering. And then you are already the beginning of the change of the world. And then it doesn't matter what you do, you may just disseminate information, but the information to make people aware of certain things. Some people, this can be a very important thing to do. And the way in which you disseminate the information will also be empowered by your state of consciousness. It will not make others wrong, other people wrong, and thereby produce a reaction. And then you're trapped into the same old thing.
You've experienced that, right, Yvonne? You've been on the street or and somebody is trying to hand out something, and if it's a person who's really agitated, or you can feel or sense their anger and agitation, you don't want to take the pamphlet. But if the person hands it to you or whatever it is, with a with a sense of calm or peace, then you're more inclined to want to even engage with them.
I've experienced that as myself, like 15 years ago in college, being the staunch environmentalist and telling people what to do, and of course, watching them do the opposite, and inspiring the exact opposite that I wanted. So I've worked the last 10 years since the Power of the Now to be present, but in order to do that, I had to like stop looking at the atrocities of the world, and now I'm ready to come back and to keep the spiritual side, but at the same time, not let the world get me down, but be able to do something and be a part of positive change.
Yes, that's your challenge now. That's your challenge now, and your spiritual practice now is to balance the two so that you can be active and bring about change in the world without losing your rootedness in being and your presence. So that's a balancing act.
Yes.
And that's what you have to do now.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
you. How to do it. I'm learning slowly what you just said about accepting the acceptance, the deep acceptance of the world as it is. That hit me. Finally, I'm starting to understand the depth, and not the accept of it's okay.
No.
Right.
Just that this is happening.
That it is happening.
Yes.
Yes, and that the angrier you and more upset you get about it, it's still happening.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't serve anything. I get that, but then how do you keep going? But it's a slow process. There's 2 more weeks, 2 more chapters. I'm hoping.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, Inner Purpose is going to help that a lot.
Yes.
Thank you. Tell Nick to be sure to show up for Inner Purpose. I got a few things to say. Thanks, everybody. People, thank you.
Thank you.
For bringing us into inner space. Next week is Inner Purpose. And as I was saying to Nick earlier, Inner Purpose, when it defines what you do in the world, puts you in alignment, and all things come.
Yes.
As they should.
And then there comes the alignment of inner purpose and outer purpose.
That's it. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Let's do our high five. We almost didn't do it last week, and people complained. Bye, everybody.
Bye.